Now there should be sound.
Now there's sound. Now you can hear us.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, Helene, for letting us know that there was no sound.
Yeah, because we could have been at this like for an hour and didn't even know it.
And actually, you missed the whole thing because we started off with, "Hi, my name is Michelle Moroz.
And I'm Brian Swanson
We're Denim and Pearls. We're business casual
with Pearls of Wisdom
from the porch." And we were singing, "I believe I can fly.
I believe I can touch the sky.
I think about it every night and day. Spread my wings and fly away. I believe I can soar." And so, what do you believe in? What do you believe? Do you believe in you?
Well, I have to go back before before we knew we didn't have any sound.
You don't have to fly to believe.
You don't have to know how to fly to believe.
And I say,
because that's just nothing but a metaphor, and Red Bull doesn't give you wings.
But the metaphor about flying is, I mean, they're not saying literally I fly. It's I can do, I can soar, I can be what I want, I can become, I can reach, I can achieve. Flying is achieving, becoming, whatever it is.
Well, when we were kids, didn't our parents or our mom, our dad, anybody else always tell us, can't? Don't say the word can't. You don't remember that? I always got the fact, don't ever tell me that you can't do something, because you can do something.
If you want to.
That was just a way of saying, believe in yourself. Have confidence in yourself that you can accomplish something. I can't is not a correct phrase.
Yeah.
Go wash the dishes. I can't. What do you mean you can't, first of all?
Well, and the thing is a lot of times when we think we can't, it's because we can't do it the way we saw someone else do it.
That's part of it.
That's really it. It's like, or you don't have the ambition enough to do it, or you did it once and it didn't work, so you stopped. And I like to say, be like water. Find your way around things. Go over, around, or through. But you can if you really, 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 really want it.
Well, it's really funny. I just saw a job posting the other day where somebody laid out the fact that you've got to be present. You have to have morals, integrities, all these other kind of things, because you're basically a CEO or a president's assistant, right? And and in there, basically, it lays out everything that your job is going to be. And they were very honest from the fact that you're only going to get a couple of hours of sleep. You're going to be on call constantly. You're going to have this and that. And then there were people posting, well, I wouldn't take this job. I wouldn't take this job. I wouldn't take this job. Well, guess what? That's what most jobs are if you're really committed to them. Because they may start off with, oh, you get to train for an 8-hour day, but now after a week, okay, I need you to go to work, which means you're constantly on call or whatever. So they just were telling the truth.
Mm-hmm. Well, I
know that was totally off topic, but
but I laugh about that when people say, I don't want to work a 9-to-5 job anymore. I want to be an entrepreneur and I'm going to make my own hours. And I just giggle because as an entrepreneur, your day never stops. Never. It never stops.
It never does. I think it's more joyful as an entrepreneur, because you do kind of get to make your own hours, but they leave out the fact that you're on the clock 24/7. Yeah, there's this beauty of being your own boss. There's this beauty of taking care of yourself. There's beauty of doing what you want to do when you want to do it. But if you take it to the part of going and not doing anything, you'll never accomplish anything as an entrepreneur.
Or as I giggle about, I giggle a lot, apparently. I am my worst boss. I mean, I'm my most strict boss I've ever had in my entire life as an entrepreneur. And believing you can fly, okay? I believe I can fly. You've got to believe. You've got to believe you can do whatever you want to do. And so when I sought off to become a speaker, I had to believe that I could find stages, that I could have a message that was strong enough to do it. When I became an author, like telling you, you have a story, you have something to write about. And Helene is on here. She wrote a book, and she has a story, and so she had to believe in herself to do that. So what do you believe? If you have an inkling in your soul, in anything that says, I really wish I could, then do it. You don't have to wish it, do it. And then it becomes truth. You have to believe you can do it.
Well, it's not a wish I could do it. It's more of a wish of getting out of your comfort zone. I wish I could get out of my comfort zone to accomplish what I want to accomplish.
Yeah, because a lot of people say, I wish I could, but I can't. Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can. If you really,
I've
really
used
want.
that phrase before.
Yeah, I wish I could, but I can't. Yeah, you can. And I mean, like with me, with my, let's say, with my cancer journey and all these other things, there are a lot of times where I was like, holy crap, am I even going to live? I had to believe I was going to live. Then I had to believe that every day was worth living. Then I had to believe that I had to do something in each of those days. And the next thing I know, surprise alert, I'm not dead. And so that's the thing, is when you're afraid and you're in your head, if you can believe all you want, but if you don't take action, nothing happens. You see what I just did there?
Uh-huh. I saw what you did. What I also have to bring this back to, I mean, we are in the holiday season.
Mhm.
And I believe that there's a lot of people out there, a little different definition, but I believe there's a lot of people out there at this time of the year that are pretty solemn, or they're being memorable of, family
People have
members who
passed.
have passed, or somebody that's just not in their life anymore, not necessarily have passed. But this holiday season is always that time for emotional um, contemplation, emotional breakdowns, things like that. But those people who have those kind of things, and I understand them and I respect that, but there's also a certain point where they have to believe that they have to go on. They have to believe that life isn't coming to an end because somebody's not in their life.
And you have to believe that that person that was in your life was there for a reason.
That too, yeah.
And so when you're in your solemn moment, especially during the holidays, and you're thinking, man, I wish my mom was here, or I really wish my friend was here, or I wish he or she was still in my life, that you broke up with someone, whatever. You have to believe that they came into your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. And you find that joy that you had while you were with them, and hold on to that joy and believe that that was the gift they left you. Know that that was the gift they left you, that even though if they're not in your life now, that you have that joy, you have that memory, you have that time you had with them. It's sacred, it's beautiful. Enjoy
Well,
those memories.
and it's also, I mean, this is world, this is life, this is the human race. It's finite. So those people are into your life for a specific reason, like just like you said, but we also have to remember that it's all good things must end.
All good things must come to an end.
Yeah, I mean, I love all the cliche word statements we're coming up here, but believing in something, you got to either believe in something, you got to believe in yourself, you have to believe that the world is not coming to an end, you have to believe that you don't have a black rain cloud above your head, you have to believe that things can be positive, that your life can be positive, because I see a lot of that where I hate to really target, but a lot of our younger generation right now has this thing with, it's, oh, woe is me, and I don't understand it. I
Like
mean,
Eeyore, remember Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh? Oh dear, another day.
exactly,
Nobody loves me.
and it seems like
I'm
we see it
alone.
more and more and more,
No, I
and I
just
don't
think
understand why that
I think
is.
it's social media because we see it. Before we were separated by time and space. Now we see everything, and people go on social media and do, I have a beautiful life. And then the next thing is, I'm miserable. I hate my life. And it's like, whoa, up and down. It's like so sporadic. And it's because we see people are sharing on the net, on the
Right.
internet more. And that's why we see more of the depression going on. It was still going before, but now people are actually vocalizing it, which is actually very good, that they are having problems and they are hurt. And that's good to a point. See, the problem with social media is people get depressed and they'll say, I'm having a really bad day. People, if you can send me some good vibes. And then people start writing underneath that, oh, yeah, life sucks. You see that? This people, this, oh, and so just, and there was a car wreck here and this, and they start adding to the depression. And before we would be depressed, we'd sit in our hole for a little bit and then come out and do, okay, I've got to come out into the sun. Nowadays, we sit on that computer and let other people feed into that depression. And we stop believing
In
that
ourselves.
in ourselves and that good days will come back. And so we have to be careful about that when we do social media and we say to the world, I'm depressed, because people will feed that depression.
Well, I think too that
Misery loves company.
misery loves company, that's for darn sure. um I remember as a kid, we, of course, we didn't have social media and things like that, but it was like, take a chill pill, figure it out. You're smart enough. You're old enough. Drive on. Okay. That's what I was brought up as.
I was brought up as, you're not depressed. Stop it.
Well, yeah. And I mean, I know, and there's going to be an argument to your statement. Really, there are people out there who argue that statement. Well, that my dad put me that way, or my mom put me that way, and a lot of that, some of that stuff can be respected, but we still have taken the belief out of the next generation. They don't believe in themselves. They don't believe that they can accomplish something because they weren't taught to accomplish something.
Here's my big thing about it all. We don't believe in humanity.
Oh, that's true too.
And see, that is where we're lacking. The thing is we have to believe that there are good in people. And I've said this to you and many, many, many people on podcasts and things like that, is I believe people are good until they prove me wrong. And so my advice to all of you, if you're depressed right now, one, believe that there are good people out there. Two, believe that even though you're in a dark time, good things will come to you.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, I know you've heard this.
As long as you believe that they will.
Well,
because if you don't believe that it will, you will remain in those, in that darkness.
Well, that's where I was going to. If you focus on only the darkness, you will only get more darkness. If you focus on the positive, the good, the happy, you will get more.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have this temptation to go on social media and do, my life sucks, I advise you to add, my life sucks, but I know it'll get better. And what will happen is,
or just say, things are not going so well today, but I know they will be tomorrow.
But people will start, they will add to the good side of that. You see, that's the magic of it. There are a lot of you out there who love to put your pain on social media. Always put a positive at the end of your pain, because then people will feed the positive. And then that way it'll help you get out. But if you leave it with just the dark, you will only get dark.
So why are I kind of know I'm pretty sure I know the answer to this, but I'm going to ask it as a rhetorical question, or you can answer it however you want to. Why are we so willing these days to put our feelings out on social media for the world to see?
Because we need validation.
Because me growing up, I was taught that
you don't tell anybody.
You don't tell anybody. You can have those feelings, but you don't put them in public.
Yeah.
That's kind of like a private thing. Now I understand there's always the other side of it, and there's the medical side of it. There's all kinds of stuff, but everybody is so willing these days to go out there and complain about the guy that took their parking spot. They're so willing to complain about the guy next door. I saw something the other day, a post the other day, talking about they had caught this individual family or whatever had caught COVID. And they blamed it on the school's policies. They blamed it on Walmart's policies for catching COVID like 2 weeks ago or a week ago or whatever it was. I'm like, wait a minute, take some responsibility. If you are that fearful of COVID, first of all, you shouldn't be. But if you're that fearful of COVID,
personal responsibility.
Stay home.
Personal responsibility. If you're that scared, then if you're that worried about it, then let them deliver. But I've had people deliver. I mean, I've heard about people getting food delivered and then still catching COVID during COVID.
Right.
So,
I mean, it's crazy. But what I think my biggest thing about was that you're blaming the school.
You're blaming society.
You're blaming the Walmart or whatever company that you may have visited in the last 3 days. You're blaming somebody else. How about the fact that, oh, crap. I guess I shouldn't have kissed that guy last night.
Are there any comments? Because I can't see them anymore.
Oh, let me go double check.
Okay. Oh, goodness. Now we're
so Raven's behind. On. Hi, Raven.
Yeah, we're so behind. Wait. Oh, I can't read it. You'll have to pull them up if you want to. So the thing is take personal responsibility for yourself. It's okay to say things on social media and say, hey, I'm hurting. But make sure you put some sort of a silver lining in there so that people will feed the good. That way you don't stay in the dark. You don't want to stay in the doldrums and get lost in them. Because life is worth living. The world is a better place with you in it. And there are good people. What?
Raven has made a lot of comments, and I think some of them may have been on the opposite side of what I said, considering what we've been talking about. And I love Raven, and Raven has got she usually has that opposite thought process of mine. So, and she's usually right. But one of the comments that she just put up here
I can't see.
Personal responsibility and accountability is something that all humans lack nowadays.
Yeah, we were talking about that. People like to point.
They point fingers.
I didn't do this because my mom and dad did this. I can't do this because my school wasn't good enough. I can't do this because. Straighten up and fly right. Own it.
Now,
I didn't do this because I.
now Raven's on a mission too, and in her life she really is, and she shows this up. Speaking for other people, I love to dwell in my darkness because I'm in the light there.
Oh,
So I don't know what the hogwash and the excuses are for, but that's just her position. That's where it is. And like I said, it's not everybody that I'm referring to when I talk about a lot of the darkness.
But I'm also not thinking darkness as in. I'm saying depression. Raven, I know you are a very joyful woman, so you don't stay in the depression and feed it. You address it. You do. That's BS. I'm out. That is not staying in those doldrums, not staying in that darkness.
Right.
And that's the power of you. And that's the power everyone has. We can say, I had a bad day. This sucks. My month has been terrible. But you know what? The next day is going to be better because I'm going to find a better.
Yeah, I think it's plain and simple. And some of it is attitude. Now, some of it cannot be overcome because it is a medical issue.
Yes.
Okay, mental health issue, whatever you want to call it. It is something that is not easily controlled. But for the people who just kind of live their life day to day kind of thing,
like Eeyore,
we can change those thoughts. We can have one bad day because we're all due a bad day. But if we don't stay there, that's what makes us better. That's what is our belief system, that things can be positive and we can enjoy things as the way that we should be enjoying them.
And I suffer from depression. So, I mean, you would never know it. But the reason I do, and it's a chemical thing in me, but what I do is I know what makes me feel better. So if I stayed in the dark, literally in the room, I get incredibly depressed and then get into my head. And so that's why I go to the gym every day. That's why I'm always outside. That's why I don't stop. I don't stop because when I stop, I get in my head and I get really depressed.
I got the personality where I can't stay there. I can feel sorry for myself.
No. I said I have depression. There's a difference.
Oh, no. I'm talking, I had another train of thought going on. I wasn't
about to say, I have a chemical imbalance.
Yeah, that's fair. However, myself, I think about it. If I have a bad day, I can't stay there. And then I think about, it's kind of like, it's like being in my eyes, okay? And forgive me for those who may be, but I could never be an alcoholic. I like to drink my alcohol and I like to drink it. But when I think of alcoholic, I think of somebody who lives their life through alcohol.
Well, we watched somebody the other night.
And we saw somebody the other night. But I'm just thinking, when I sit down and at my desk or watching TV or something like that, my brain will not let me go, okay, I need a beer to drink some more. And because I know my life is going to be better. Yeah, alcohol does not dull my pain, by the way. My brain works too good for that, or too often for that, I should say.
Oh my gosh, alcohol makes me so introspective. It's like scary. Yeah, you give me alcohol and you want to have a long, deep discussion about something high level, come to me and give me alcohol. Because
I'm very creative.
I get really deep.
I can get deep too, but I'm very creative.
I will pull apart the universe and we can just keep going. It's what I do. But I know
it stimulates the brain factor.
It gets me introspective. I start analyzing everything. And so
what? Okay, Raven, that's fair enough.
What?
Damn, weed is better.
Huh?
Weed is better.
Oh.
We are in Colorado. And Helene says purple beer.
Purple beer.
I think I'll have one right now. Anyway,
that's the whole thing about belief. You have to believe that there are better days. So if you're out there right now and you've lost somebody, you've lost a loved one, you're broken up with someone, whatever it is, or you lost your job and you haven't been able to find another one, anything like that, anything that's making you feel lesser than you have to believe that this life is a roller coaster. It goes up, it goes down, it goes twisty, it goes back and forth. And sometimes it's scary. Sometimes you don't want to be on that ride anymore, but it will be fun again. You just got to give it time. Just keep riding.
You got to believe it.
You got to believe that there's better things coming on that ride.
Even, some people say to believe you've got to like meditate, yoga kind of stuff in order to get your mind and empty your mind of all of the negative energy.
Well, and it's not just the energy, the negative thoughts. So when you meditate, you empty your mind. If you don't meditate, all of that stuff compiles into your brain. I learned all that with my brain injury. When I hit my head, basically, there's a wall that happens in your head where your brain separates bad things from good things, and it categorizes things in your brain and it locks it all up. When I got hit by that car, that wall broke down and all negativity that has ever happened in my life flooded my mind. Now, when it floods your mind, it's hard to get out of it. And so what I ended up having to do is I had to learn to meditate, to clear it all out, so I would only focus on the things I needed to focus on, not everything all at once. And that's what a lot of us do on social media. We look at everybody else's problems. We look around the world and see all the other problems, and we add them to our life. Life is already hard as it is. And when you're watching the news and taking all the other issues happening around the world and putting them all on yourself, you will pop. I mean, there's not enough brain cells to handle all of the trauma and the things that are happening in the world. So give yourself a break.
Just definitely don't take responsibility for somebody else's actions.
Yes, stop looking all over the place for more pain and focus on your own and clear them. Learn to meditate. I highly suggest.
Raven wrote a great big paragraph. I just read through the paragraph. I'm not going to post it up on the video portion of it, but she believes that there's a negative catalyst for the positive. Sometimes people have a car stolen and they're besides themselves, but they don't realize that they could have been there when the car was jacked,
which would have been worse,
and they could have got injured or lost their life. That statement is what we always talk about, is perspective. It depends on how you look at things. You look at the fact that you got your car stolen. You look at the universe was against you. Why me? Blah, 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 blah. But then with like what Raven said, you could have been there.
And they could
be thankful you weren't there when they did steal your car.
Yes. Or,
it's all the perspective.
Or, oh my gosh, we had a kitchen fire and we lost our kitchen. Well, thank goodness you didn't lose your house. Right? What?
Oh, it's that political thing where somebody had a kitchen fire and now they tell the story that it was like it was life threatening and all kinds of stuff, and they almost lost their Corvette. You know what I mean? That it's a matter of perspective. The story's a whole other thing, but it's a matter of perspective. How did you look at that small kitchen fire? Was it a small kitchen fire that just kind of, it popped up, you put a lid over it, and you had put a lid on the pan and lost
that
the
happens
fire?
Almost every time I cook.
I hope not if you're doing chocolate.
Just kidding.
Or was it a raging fire where you almost...
No, and like,
it all depends on...
back to Raven, what Raven said. You're alive to complain about it. Be thankful.
That's a good point. You're alive to complain about it.
You're alive to complain about it. Be thankful. And because things can be much worse. And I've lost someone really close to me, and I was in so much pain that I lost her. And then I realized, at least I had her.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, at least I had my time with her. How many people in the world didn't get blessed to be with her? And then that's how I look at it now. It's like, I'm in pain that she's gone. But boy, am I thankful she crossed my path.
Mm-hmm. Well, everything has an influence. The only thing that doesn't collect anything in this world?
A rolling ball?
Nope. Anything that touches anything, even our lives, when we touch the life, if somebody walks past you in the grocery store, there's a reason for that person that walked past you. There's something that you just took from them. Was it a judgment, or was it whatever? But there's only one material in this world that does not collect what it touches.
Yes, that's my CD.
That's like, I was going to say, that's not what I was talking about.
No,
Did you know that gold does not capture any impurities?
It doesn't.
If it touches something, it does not rub off on anything, and it doesn't collect whatever it touches. It's the only material
So
in the
be gold.
universe. Yeah, you want to be gold, or as close to it as you get. I mean, as you can get, because
Honestly, I
everything
think right now,
touches
I think all of
something.
us are silver. And when we go through the fires of bad things, we're like, I am done on this burner. I am being boiled to death. It's because we're silver. And every time we have a big trial in our life, we are being purified.
You always have to take what I say and just make it magical.
Mhm.
I think at that point we're done.
Yeah.
This has been actually a really good, strong conversation.
Well, I love that. I love that Raven and Helene came on and gave us some feedback so that we could keep going on our conversation. I mean,
Raven pops into our life every once in a while. There must be a reason why she pops into our life just every once in a while, not all the time.
yeah, she just pops in when we need her.
Well, Helene too,
Same
because
with
Helene's
Helene,
been
yeah.
gone for a little while
Yes,
too.
Helene's been
She's
gone.
popped back. There must have been a reason why we were here today, to show our belief in whatever it is.
I believe I can fly. I believe I can touch the sky.
Oh, I was told that you needed to do a Christmas song too.
Oh,
Give us a Christmas snippet.
have yourself a merry little Christmas. Let your heart be bright. From now on, our troubles will be out of sight. So have yourself a merry little Christmas now. And I'll sing again
I
next
added
week.
somewhat of a
We'll be
bass line in
closer.
there, but
Have a wonderful week, everyone. We'll see you next week.
are we next
And
week?
yeah.
What's next week? I don't even know. I know we're close to Christmas.
No, next week I think is the 22nd because I will
Oh,
be
yes, it
coming
is.
back from DC.
Yes, next week
Or
is
the
the 22nd.
21st, 21st,
And then
22nd.
I've got to work on the 23rd.
Oh my gosh, we might have to pre-record that one. I might not be here.
We'll figure it out.
Okay.
No worries.
So
They'll never know the difference.
be well, take care, and remember, if you find yourself in the doldrums and acting like Eeyore, you gotta pick up some poo.
Oh my.
Find the gold, find the lining of silver, the light, and focus on that, because you've got to believe that days will get better, everything will be better. Just keep going. So until then,
I'll agree with that. So no butts on that one.
no buts. Until then, take care and be well, and we love you.
And don't forget to share and like this, because I'm sure somebody out there could use this message today.
Yeah.
Or tomorrow, or anytime in the holiday
Well,
season.
for the next couple of weeks.
So if you stuck around with us this long, make sure that you share this, and just share it to your main page, because somebody may see it. Somebody who needs to see it will see it.
So have yourself a very Merry Christmas. We'll see you next week, Friday, okay? Take care. Peace.
Peace.